So let's see. This next one is who will be our target customers. And Owen, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but I believe that we're mainly targeting indie developers at the start with our product, and then
Well,
gamers.
yes and no. Like,
Okay.
so we've obviously got a lot of holders right now. Some of them are interested in gaming, and some of them are not. They're just seeing actual value in it, stuff like that. When you're talking about the Dogira token, like when we start, if we see, there's a lot that I'm trying not to say here that may or may not be in a white paper. But let's say, let's say for example that we had an off-chain token, and let's say based on the amount of Dogira you have in your wallet, you will receive an airdrop of that off-chain token. So in that case, are you holding Dogira because you want to play a game with Dogira? You want to play it with an off-chain coin? Or are you holding it for the fact that you're going to get dropped an asset which will have its own inherent value? So there's a lot of kind of things in there for, I suppose, an investment point of view or a speculation point of view. In actual utility sense, like, again, a lot of it comes down to kind of what we target first and what we roll out with. So if we start developing, our own in-house titles or anything like that, or we start porting over titles or working directly with developers, if that's kind of a case where it's possible that we're looking to mostly use potentially off-chain tokens or our own tokens, etc., to build more value onto the coin itself and to create experiences that are directly using the technology that we're developing on. Then there's the other side of it where we want to, make an SDK that can just be quickly integrated into games once we have, I think building our own experiences is a brilliant way of finding out exactly what kind of stuff we need to have in there. So I found from working with a lot of SDKs in the past through, working in gaming and stuff like that, there's a lot of things I find the developers weren't really aware of being such a necessity until it came to me sitting there and trying to use the SDK and realizing there's a glaring hole in it. So if it came to the stage where we were, developing on our own titles and building the SDK more so around experiences and then making the more generic plug and play version available, then you'd have to say that, we're maybe directly targeting gamers in that case, because if they want to play the game, this token is involved in it. But of course, that also has a target audience of speculators and holders in it as well. Because if it's a limited supply and we're not, minting new versions when people are coming in, then it's going to go up in value, pending that it actually has a demand for it at least. So yeah, it's a very difficult question to answer, but I suppose in a very general sense, it would be the gaming industry. And then we have our stuff like NFT partnerships. So if your interest was just in holding an asset and having some charitable donations through that as well, that's another bracket that you fall into. You might have no interest in gaming. So yeah, it is quite broad, but I would say if you wanted to give a very kind of generic response on it, it would be the gaming industry.